In the game of Big Brother, you can sit here and try to play an honest game, but that's not, in reality, you can't just get to the end playing an honest game.
9-0. How are you feeling? How you doing? How you holding up?
Baby, you know what? I'm doing great. I am so happy. I am so excited. Being in that house for a very long time, I am happy to be back out here in the real world and I'm ready to take off running. But I am so glad that I got an opportunity to be a part of Big Brother. And like I said, first Black African American to be in second place and Big Brother, and I can't ask for nothing else. And hey, I think I did a great job.
Yeah. So how did you think the votes were going to go? Like, who do you think you really had to campaign to the most in the jury?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sharon. I don't think I needed to campaign to nobody. Xavier played an awesome game and he deserved it. I knew going into that I was not gonna win. And I'm okay with that. I looked at Xavier and said, look, man, I'm okay. I just want second place. Okay. I want to get here so I can say I made it to second place. And I believe that I worked hard to get to the end. I put in a lot of work. It was not easy being the socialite that I was in that house full of a lot of wolves. I just wanted to explain what I did because I think the jury had this view that I was just coasting or, riding coattails or, didn't really do work. But the jury, I wanted them to know there would not be no cookout if I did not bring 6 individuals together. And I put them before my own game. And I wanted to explain that to the jury. And I also wanted to remind them once again, anybody could get it. No one's safe. I would send you guys home and I am a threat, but you guys never saw that. So, I'm very happy with the outcome. I'm not bitter, upset at all. Xavier earned it.
Now, did you ever consider cutting Xavier? If you had the choice, obviously.
Yes. There was a point that I was considering cutting Xavier when I felt like Xavier at one moment was making a decision without me. And I can't remember what week it was. And I remember, reminding Xavier, hey, baby, me and you run this cookout, okay? Like we are on the same page. You do competitions, I will do social, and we would be the perfect duo. But I knew that I made a bond with him, a brotherhood that cannot be unspoken. We come from similar lifestyles, so I knew I could not cut him. But if there was a chance that he ended up on the block and my hands are tied, then I would have to let him go. But I knew Xavier being here all the way to the end was good for me because we worked together. He would not be there without me, and I would not be there without him.
Okay. So I have to, let's settle this because there's some debate about who started the cookout. A lot of people obviously are giving Tiffany credit for the master plan. What would you say to that? Who started the cookout?
I talked to all 6 of the individuals. I said, we're going to work together. We're going to have it first started as understanding that we're not going to vote each other out. And then Xavier came up with the name called the Cookout. But if I put all 6 of the members together, I talked to each and every single one of those individuals. And I said, hey, look, me, you, da-da-da, is going to work together. And we're going to get to the end. Now, Xavier and I did come up a little bit with the plan that Tiffany came, but Tiffany did put it all in full force and cleaned it up for us, if that makes sense. And then obviously me being the leader that I am, I felt as though I don't want to take someone's credit. If she came up with it, you got to give people an opportunity to give something to the team, or they're going to feel like they don't have a voice. So when she came in the room and was like, this is what we're going to do and things like that, I remember turning to Azah like, baby, I already said this, but I'm gonna let Tiffany take the credit because I don't want no smoke with her. Okay, you got to give her some credit, or she gonna go off like a firecracker, So I knew what it took to be a leader, especially me coming from a military school, especially me being a leader a lot in my life. I know at times you're gonna have people that are part of your team that come up with something. Just let them have it because they're gonna work better. They're gonna feel like, wow, I brought something to the team. So, going in there, I knew I didn't have it. I knew I didn't have a chance of being able to explain it all because I was very quiet about my moves, but I made sure America knew what my moves were.
So yeah, let's talk about, well, first of all, Azah, I feel like you guys had it out the last few days.
Yeah.
I know you felt like you carried her, but like, there are definitely some people who are like, how did Derek carry her if he didn't win comps? Like, what was he doing that she wasn't? So can you explain that a little bit, just how you felt like you carried her?
Yes. So Azah was very, how can I say? She was very opinionated and she was very emotional a lot. And she would always go against the plan that me and Xavier already put in place in the beginning of the season. Keep in mind, me and Xavier were part of the slaughterhouse. We were a part of the butcher squad. We were doing a lot of ground control first 5 weeks, making sure things get done in order for people in our cookout not to have to worry. So for me, it was one of those things where, Azah was not making moves or lying or manipulating and doing things because guess who was already doing that for her? Me. I would tell Azah, oh, that's already done, girl. Don't worry about that. Oh, no, just come on. Just go with the plan. We already got it. There were so many things that were being put in place. And like I said, I don't know how the season was edited or portrayed. I don't know until I sit back and watch it. But there was, you understand, in the game of Big Brother, you can sit here and try to play an honest game, but that's not, in reality, you can't just get to the end playing an honest game. You're going to have to get your hands dirty at some point. So with me and Xavier getting our hands dirty so many times and babysitting people, entertaining, making sure you're planting seeds so then someone becomes the target, that allows someone like Azah to just play an honest game, which is fine. She took advantage and whatnot, and that's okay. She's my team member. I'm all right with that. But it got to the point for me where I felt as though it was hard to see eye to eye because it was one of those things where I was like, listen, I wouldn't got here if it wasn't for you, and you would have never got here if it wasn't for me. But me and Xavier definitely put in a lot of more work. We were a part of more alliances, and we had a lot of more connections than Azah did. And that was what I was trying to say to her. I love her at the end of the day. She definitely earned her spot to be there. That's why I kept her there when I had the decision to send her home. But I kept her because I said she earned it. She deserves to be here. And I just feel like throughout the game, there's moves, and I don't know how it was shown, but there were so many moves and conversations that were portrayed and done that she was not a part of.
There had been a couple times you were like, and maybe you were just saying this for the game, not sure.
Yeah.
That the guys were doing more than the girls, Tiffany, Chada, even and Azah. Yeah. Did you feel that way? Like, how did you feel like the girls weren't doing enough, I guess?
So my thing was when it came to the guys, what I mean by that, in the beginning of the season, me, Xavier, and Kai were a part of different alliances that were doing more work than what the girls were. I'm not saying the girls did not pick up their weight, but by the time, what I mean by that is like the first one, I would say first to 5 weeks, or I would say the first 4 weeks, we were doing a lot of ground control. Frenchie's fiasco was a lot of work. And we were doing a lot of ground control, which is epic, but we were doing a lot of ground control to cover for us. And then on top of that, we were doing a lot of more work. Kyland did a lot of work himself. Xavier did his own work. And I'm not saying the girls did not do as much, because obviously the girls had to do things in order for us to get there. But we were putting a lot of more time and commitment and conversations and comps and whatnot, and coming up with plans and putting seeds down. So, at the end of the day, for me, it was one of those things where I did not have a very, very close relationship with the girls. Azah was my girl. I was going to protect her at all costs. But throughout the time, it was just like, Xavier's over here, really throwing comps, doing things. The girls weren't hardly winning comps. Not even me. But that's why I said I was doing my part of making sure I do what? Cook, clean, entertain, do it all, baby. Whatever I need to do to pick up my weight and have conversations to put targets on other people that are not in the cookout.
If they ask you, would you ever play Big Brother again? Any interest?
What do you want me to do?
No, don't ask me.
Of course, I would do it again, and I wouldn't change one bit. Besides, I would definitely do a lot more scheming than what I did this season. I definitely would do a lot more scheming, and I definitely will come back ready to go because being a big guy was really difficult at times. But it got me this far, so I think I wouldn't change a bit. Besides, just a little bit more scheming.